Welcome to Profit and Prosper, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to make some money while doing what they love. On this podcast, we're going to pull back the curtain and talk about all things business and money. But I promise you, this is not your typical boring numbers talk. I'm your host, Sarah Young, a CPA and CFO with over a decade of experience in finance, business, and leadership. I'm going to share everything I've learned from helping my clients grow more profitable businesses and keep more of what they earn while growing my own successful business along the way. You'll feel empowered and confident that you too can grow your wealth, live a rich life, and have an impact. Stick with me and you might even start to think that finance is fun. Let's dive in. Is it okay for your business to not be profitable in the first year or two? Is it okay if you are not able to pay yourself regularly in the first couple years of business? I got this question last week from one of the business owners who was doing my 5-day challenge, and I have gotten it before, so I thought it would be a really good idea for a podcast. So let's dive into this idea of, is it okay for you not to be profitable, and potentially why is this happening and what can you do instead? So here's a short answer to this question. Anything is quote unquote okay as long as you are doing this with intention, as long as it is in alignment with your goals. But you don't have to be unprofitable. You don't have to spend all of your money when you start a business. There's no rite of passage that you have to go through that says in the first year or two, you're not supposed to make any money. But it is common, right? It's common for business owners to not make money in the first few years, but why? Why is that? And what can we do instead? So I think that this idea of not being profitable in the first few years comes from this traditional, maybe not traditional, but the startup model. So when you read about these business startups in the news, in the media, a lot of times they talk about how much money they spend and how much money they lose. So a lot of these models are not designed for profitability. They are designed because these startups want to scale very, very quickly. And in order to do that, they are funded by other people, other businesses that have very deep pockets. And they spend a lot of money up front on development, and they hire a lot of people, and they're basically trying to crack the code to go from like zero to multiple millions in revenue very, very quickly. And so because they're funded by these other businesses and other people who have a lot of money, it doesn't matter to them if they operate at a loss for years. That is in their plan, okay? But here's the catch. That's probably not you. That is probably not you. I'm guessing that you're not a startup, and I'm guessing that you don't have unlimited funds. And so if you sort of fall into this model of, I've got to spend all of my money up front in the name of growth, what you end up doing is you buy yourself a job. You're constantly hustling and working these crazy hours to try to make ends meet, but you're still basically living paycheck to paycheck. And you probably got yourself out of your corporate job, but you're right into this next thing that results in the same like grinding, the same hustling all the time. So what could you be doing instead? Instead of setting yourself up to not pay yourself regularly, instead of setting yourself up to not make any money, what could you be doing instead? If you structure your business so that it is profitable, what does that allow you to do? It allows you to afford to be able to hire a team to take over the day-to-day work, so your business doesn't have to rely 100% on you, so that if you take time off, everything doesn't come to a screeching halt. I've been there. It allows you to work within normal hours, so you have flexibility to take time off. You bring in solid systems to your business so that it just keeps operating on its own. You bring in more ideal and aligned customers that are more fun to work with. You pay yourself a regular paycheck for the work you're doing, and you have money left over that you can use to grow your business and build your own wealth. You have space, mental space, instead of stressing out all the time about bringing in more sales and having to do the work. You have mental space and time to take care of yourself. You create space to rest, which then in turn creates space for new, bigger, better ideas in your business. This is not some crazy pipe dream that only like the select few successful 7-figure business owners have access to. You can become this business owner. I promise you, it is within your power. We just need to understand, why are you not profitable now, and work to address fixing those underlying issues in your business so that you can flip the script. I'm going to list out 4 areas or 4 reasons why you are not making money. I want you to listen to these 4 areas and figure out which of these are holding you back from having a profitable business, from paying yourself more. The first area that a lot of business owners struggle in is in their money mindset. So having worked with a lot of business owners, especially women business owners, I can tell you this is something that comes up over and over and over again and is impacting literally everything you do in your business. I think we all know that talking about, thinking about money is something that can bring up a lot of emotions for people, and I bet it's impacting you in ways that you don't even realize. So let's talk about some of the very common mindset issues that are keeping you from paying yourself more and from being profitable. One is fear of success. Yes, you want to be successful, but you also subconsciously fear what will happen when you actually get there, which I know doesn't make sense, but listen, I feel this way too. What is actually going to happen when you make more money? What kind of person will you become? Will people still like me? This is an area where, when you think about, especially for women, when you think about the rich people that you see in movies, right? The rich people that you see out there in the world, there's a lot of times this idea that they turn into mean people. Like, how many rich women have you seen in movies that are also really good people? And a lot of times people don't like them, and you see them making these choices that means they have to give up their family, right, in order to make more money. And I know, like, we know this isn't really what happens in real life, right? But this is this idea that is ingrained in us from a very young age when we watch TV and watch movies, right? Will people like you when you are successful? Thinking that rich people are somehow bad and that if you become successful, you will become evil, right? I'm here to help people not make more money, as if the two things are mutually exclusive, as if by making more money, by default, you're taking it from someone else, right? You're not doing good by other people. There's also this idea of people who are rich are just lucky, right? They're just born that way. They have skills that I don't have. And what this causes is you end up thinking, why bother? Why should I bother, right? Like if it's just something that's inherent in these people that I don't have, why should I bother trying to be rich? Why should I bother trying to make money? Here's the thing. No one is going to do it for you. No one else is going to sit down and help you implement the things in your business that you need to do to make more money, unless you hire someone like me to come help you. There's also self-doubt, and this comes up again, especially with women. I'm not a numbers person. I'm bad at money. I'm bad at finances. I'll never figure this stuff out. This isn't a real business. Why would anyone pay me for that? Do any of these thoughts sound familiar to you? This is avoidance. When you have these negative thoughts about yourself and your business and your ability to make money, What that is going to cause is for you to avoid this area and go do things that you find more fun, that you enjoy doing more. And that means you never address any underlying problems in your business. You might also have a scarcity mindset. So, thinking things like, what if I don't make any more sales after this? What if I raise my prices like Sarah keeps telling me to, and no one buys from me anymore because they go to the competition? My success won't last. I shouldn't spend the money, right? What does this cause? Fear of success again, guilt over not working all the time. This is actually really difficult for me personally, where I've gotten to a place in my business where I'm able to scale back. And now I actually, every day, I have to actively address this feeling of guilt because I am not working myself to death anymore. And this comes up because, my first accounting job was in the Big Four, where you glorify working long hours. And then I went into corporate America, right? Where the successful people, the people who worked hard, were the ones who stayed there all night long. And so breaking out of this mindset is so hard, but that is the beauty of running your own business, right? You don't have to continue to fall in this trap, but you do have to address the underlying money mindset issues that are holding you back, because I promise you these things are holding you back, okay? So go back through these really common thoughts that I just listed out and think about, what is it that triggers me? What is it that's coming up for me? And how is this preventing me from going after making more money in my business? Do you want to create more cash flow, put more money in your pocket, and demystify your business's finances and taxes once and for all? Since you're listening to my podcast, I'm pretty sure that you do. In order to create wealth and reach your goals, you have to understand your numbers and you have to intentionally manage your money so that you can understand what's actually generating profits in your business and what's not, and make CEO level decisions about what to do next. So you can create a solid foundation that allows you to confidently grow and scale your business. If you're nodding along to everything I'm saying, then you need to join my 12-week Profit and Prosper group program. In this program, I teach my CFO framework for streamlining your financial systems, optimizing cash flow, and growing a bulletproof business. I've got video modules, my exclusive templates and calculators, and best of all, 12 weeks of support directly from me, your personal CPA and virtual CFO. I only run this program a few times each year, and the next cohort is officially open. It's time for you to get off the struggle bus and turn your money into the rocket fuel that propels you toward your goals. And I cannot wait to watch it happen. Go to profitandprosper.co/join now to learn more and sign up. Reason number 2 that your business is not profitable is your pricing is too low. So to illustrate this idea, I'm going to tell you quickly my story. When I started my business, I started as a side hustle back in 2018, and I started off doing bookkeeping, consulting, tax prep, because that's what every other CPA out there does. I started off early charging a flat monthly fee for bookkeeping instead of charging hourly, because I didn't want to get into the trap of having to trade time for money. But here's what I did instead. I said to my first few clients, they were super small. I said, I can do this. It'll probably take me 2 hours, maybe 3 at most, to get the work done. And so I multiplied my hourly bookkeeping rate at the time, which was like $50 times 2.5 hours. And I got to about $125 a month for bookkeeping, which is insanely cheap. What happened was that as I brought more clients on, I even got to a place where I was charging $300 a month for bookkeeping, and then I raised it again to $400 or $450. And as I brought on more clients, what I found was that I was just constantly hustling, constantly struggling to keep my head above water. Because to do the math, to make, let's say, $10,000 a month in revenue, how many $400 a month clients do you have to have? I'm pulling up a calculator because I'm terrible at math in my head, right? 10,000, that's 25 clients a month at $400 a month just to get to 10,000 in revenue. And when I started my business, like many of us do, I felt like I have to price my stuff competitively. I have to be low because otherwise, why would anybody go to me over these other people out there who are offering the same service? And then I got to March, April of 2021, and I was so burned out. I was so stressed out. I just had to stop. So from April until July of 2021, I stopped taking on any new clients. I just focused on taking care of the ones that I already had until I had time to breathe and I had some time and space to try again because I knew that I just could not keep offering this very low price service. What I did instead was I realized a lot of my bookkeeping clients were coming to me because I was doing more high level CFO type services, but I wasn't really charging for it. Providing a lot of value, giving them tax advice, right? Talking about business strategy and financial strategy in my meetings with them and in my emails to them and answering all of the questions all the time that they had, but I wasn't charging them for this. And so what I did instead was I literally took my prices and multiplied them 3 to 5 times in some cases and offered a new CFO service. And I'm never one to just say arbitrarily increase your prices. But what I found was that I could offer a service that was very valuable to my clients and very potent, but did not require a lot of my time, not like bookkeeping does. I have been doing this for about a year now, and I'm telling you, the change in my life is insane, okay? Having a high value service that you offer enables me to work with less clients, to pay for my team, to help me do all of the back end stuff. I can take time off. I literally just last week pulled back on the hours that I work. So I probably am working 30 hours a week now. My business will do at least 500,000 in revenue this year, if not more, okay? And I'm able to do this because of my pricing structure. If you are not profitable, look at your pricing. If you are still charging super low prices, if you are still charging hourly, then you need to rethink your business model because it is going to be very difficult for you to scale something that has such low profit margins, okay? It's going to be difficult for you to grow that because to grow that business, to grow something that has low profit margins, you have to increase the volume so high, which means you have to have a lot of team members, a lot of overhead expenses to maintain a high volume. So here's something people always give me pushback when I tell them to raise their prices, and especially going back to women because the vast majority of my audience is women business owners. There's this idea of, well, I want to be accessible to people. I want people to be able to afford to work with me. I don't want to push people out. I hear you, and I also want the same thing. But there are ways that you can give people access to what you do without giving away all of your time and direct access to you. An example is my podcast. My podcast is completely free. I'm talking about a lot of the same things I talk about in my group program, but what you don't get on the podcast is direct one-on-one support from me, right? You also don't get the same things laid out step by step that you get in my paid programs, right? And that's okay. I'm still giving people the knowledge and the access to these ideas for free so that it is accessible. So there are ways for you to make things accessible. You can also think about maybe you do scholarship programs, right? There's all kinds of different ways that you can provide access two business owners or two other people who cannot afford to pay a higher price without taking the hit on you personally. Okay. And here's what I'll also finish up this section with. If you feel strongly that you want to be able to give things away to your clients, if you want to not have something that is super high priced and you want to be really accessible to people, really consider if you're operating a nonprofit, because that business model is very different, so that you get funding from other people and you're able to provide whatever you provide to your customers basically for free or very cheap, right? Think about if that's really what you want. Are you actually running a nonprofit? Most of you are not. 99% of you are not, but I feel like that should be said. Okay. So reason number 2 that you're not making money is you are charging way too low prices for what you are providing. Moving on to number 3. Reason number 3 you're not making any money is you are overspending in the name of growth. You're telling yourself, I have to spend every dollar I make in order to grow my business. Listen, you have to strike a balance as a business owner between using what you have to make things work and investing in the right areas to get unstuck and make more money. But this thought that I'm going to spend all my money now, and when my sales increase in a few months or in a few years, I'll somehow magically be profitable. But here's what I'll say. If you are not managing your money right now, how are you magically going to do it later when the volume is 5 times higher or 10 times higher, right? What you're doing now by spending all of your money is setting up financial habits to spend all of your money. How about instead, when things are easier, when things are smaller in the first few years of your business before you grow, let's set up these financial habits to spend with intention and to spend wisely, to spend on the right things. So I'm not one to say you should never spend money in your business, because I very firmly believe that you are going to have to invest money in order to unblock whatever the roadblock that you have is. So if you took my 5-day challenge last week, you will know that on day 5, we talked about how to invest in the right things to move your business forward. Instead of spending all the money you have and not spending on the things that actually help you grow your business. So let's talk about 3 areas really quick. 3 areas where you might have roadblocks. Area number 1 is sales. If you don't have a system to bring in a consistent baseline sales number, if your sales are not high enough to cover all of your costs and pay yourself, then you probably need to look at your sales systems and marketing systems. Are you getting enough eyeballs on the stuff that you're selling? Are you converting the people that do come to you? If you are not able to consistently bring in monthly revenue, then you need to focus and invest in fixing this area. You might also need to invest in your systems and your back end. If you need to improve your efficiency, if you need to improve your customer experience, if you need to increase your profitability by addressing your financial systems, then you might want to invest in fixing your back end or your systems. And the last area to invest in, once you have solid sales, once you have good systems in place, is your team. Or in the challenge, I said squad. So sales, systems, and squad. Once you have a solid sales process in place and you have good back-end systems to execute on your work, increase your capacity by growing your team. So if you find that you're spending all the money that you bring in your business and there's not a lot left over for you, then you need to take a hard look at your spending. Are you buying everything that sounds good, that sounds like you might benefit from it? Or are you being really intentional and thoughtful about addressing these 1 or 2 roadblocks in your business with your sales, your systems, or your squad? Every time I say squat, I laugh. You have to strike a balance between using what you already have at your disposal, your team, your assets, your processes, your brain, your time, using what you have at your disposal to make it work, and investing in the one or two areas where you will get unstuck the fastest. Because, like I said before, this idea that you're somehow going to be profitable when your sales increase, because your sales are going to increase and you won't spend all your money then. If your financial habits that you have right now have you spending all of your money, then it's likely going to continue just on a bigger scale, right? So let's fix our underlying habits now when it's easier, when it's like you're turning a jet ski instead of waiting until you have a cruise ship, which is really hard to turn. Let's fix all of that now. Finally, reason number 4, you are not making money, is your financial skills and your financial systems. Listen, being financially literate is not up for negotiation if you want to have a profitable business. And I'm saying this especially to all of the women listening to me who think to yourself, I'm not good at money, I'm not good at numbers, I don't understand this. This is something you absolutely can learn. You have learned harder things before, I promise you, okay? This is not something that you can push off and hope that somehow it's all magically going to work out if you yourself, the business owner, do not have these skills in place. Your business is only going to grow, is only going to be successful to wherever your limit is. So if you are limiting yourself in the financial literacy area, if your financial systems are not there and you're not actively managing your money, you are going to limit your business. And I don't say this to be mean, it's just a fact. And I get really worked up sometimes when I talk to these women business owners who are really seriously holding themselves back. Like 90% of the sales calls I have with women, they start off by saying, this is just not something I'm good at. And this isn't something I ever want to be good at. I get it. There's things I don't want to do either, but here's what is exciting. When you get it figured out, I know you might not like to look at numbers, but you're going to see more zeros in your bank account. And you cannot tell me that that is not exciting, okay? So you doubting your financial skills is holding you back. So you've got to have systems in place to take the money that you generate, that you work so hard for to get in sales, and make sure that is flowing through into your bottom line, okay? It takes having a solid system in place and managing your money. So, is it okay if your business isn't profitable in the first couple years? Like I said before, that is up to you, but it does not have to be this way. So go back through the 4 areas I talked about and figure out which ones are holding you back. Is it your money mindset? This is probably for everybody, including me. Is it your pricing? Is it your spending habits? Is it your financial literacy or your money skills? You need to make sure you address these areas because you do not have to lose all your money. You do not have to take on debt to run your business. You do not have to use all of your personal savings to pay your bills because your business isn't paying you, okay? I don't want this for any of you. So if you are feeling like you are finally ready to learn the financial skills that you need to create a profitable business, to manage your money, to pay yourself more, then you need to join my 12-week Profit and Prosper program. In this program, I will lay out for you step by step exactly everything you need to know to create this profitable business that helps you set up a solid foundation to grow on and start to take steps toward building your own wealth. I only run the program a few times each year. Doors are open right now, and we officially kick off the next cohort on April 11th. So if you want to learn more, go to profitandprosper.co/join now. The link will be in the show notes. and I will see you there. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Now, I want you to go take some action. What's one thing you can do this week to create more profit in your business? Send me a DM on Instagram at YoungCoCFO and share your action item with me. If you have a question or topic you'd like me to dive into, or if you're feeling empowered about taking charge of your finances, let's continue the conversation. Go to profitandprosper.co to submit a question or topic for me to talk about on the show. And because we all profit and prosper better with friends, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, subscribe wherever you listen, and share the episode. Make sure you tag me at YoungCoCFO on Instagram so I can give you some love, and I'll see you in the next episode.